Welcome in, everybody, to the Real Ballz podcast. I am your host, Ryan Squires, the guy with the Real Ballz here. I am going to be covering a few different things today. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do a Wednesday podcast today, but it seems as though I'm going to be able to get one in. I don't know if I'll be able to get a Friday edition in. I got a few things going on here on Friday. So first off, I want to start off by saying that I had been offering the private label cleaners and whatnot that I had discussed in my previous podcast. And I wanted to let you guys know that there are multiple bottles and bottle selections available, colors and whatnot. They're all behind me here. As you can see, I'll scoot that up a little bit. You got all different colors. You got blue, you got clear, you got purple, you got green. You can get them in quart bottles. You got white. There's all different kinds of colors available. You can do foams and whatnot. But anyway, I will get back to my podcast now and get back to the video portion. And so I want to discuss a few things today and really kind of go into a couple of things that got me kind of pissed off, and then a couple of things that I thought were pretty cool. First and foremost, the PBA announced in their most recent bowling news that their format for the Clash was coming up and how they were going to do that. And if you watched my PBA podcast, not even a couple weeks ago, I literally covered an idea that I had that was almost identical to that before they announced it. But what really gets me irritated more than anything is that I announced my idea for the PBA Clash. I announced this idea to Tom Clark and to Bob Learn in an email. I sent it in an email and said, hey, I think this would be a great idea if you guys took the most exciting parts of bowling, which was 9th and 10th frame roll-offs, and you made it into a elimination style match. I sent that to them in an email back in January. In fact, it was on January 9th of 2018 I sent that back and gave that idea to them, that would be a good idea. But it goes even further. I went further in depth in that email and to these guys and said, hey, you should do a biographical portion. You should include biographies in this. And not biographies in the sense of like, oh, well, this is such and such, but really go in depth, good guy, bad guy. We talked about this on the PBA podcast, and I really went in depth in this email saying, hey, if you created good guy, bad guy, you're going to have a lot more attention and a lot more people paying attention because it's going to grab their attention. And so one of the most intriguing things that I thought bowling had going for it, which I thought was so cool, was when Sean Rash was being a baby and threw a tantrum on TV at Belmo. I thought that was one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen. Okay, now, when that happened, that instantly created a feud. That instantly created drama. So people love to watch drama. They like to see that stuff. So why wouldn't we want to create more of that? No more. Why do we want this I want to shake your hand and be nice stuff? Why don't we want Sean Rash to call Belmo a bitch on TV and throw a water bottle at him? Why don't we want that? I don't see any reason why not. I think it's exciting. And so when they put that they're going to include biographical profiles of players, I just can't fathom why in the world they would not want to create some really strong biographies and really strong characters and create that real excitement, real characters, real drama, real excitement, real bowling on FS1. Let's face it, Belmo is great at being a good guy. He's great at it. He's great at going out there and giving balls away and building the Belmo brand, and he's really, really good at it. He is a good brand builder. Sean Rash tries to do it, and I've seen him do it on TV, and I've seen him try to do it. It comes off so fake, though. He's just bad at it. It's I don't know him that well personally. From what I do know, I think he's an asshole. I think he's a fucking prick. But I don't know him that well. I just don't. Maybe he's the nicest guy in the world, but from what I do know of him, the things that I've heard him say, the way that he's behaved, the way that I've seen him behave, he's always behaved like an asshole. And so when he would do things to try to come off as a nice guy and brand himself in that light, it would come off as not genuine. It would come off as fake. And so people can see through that. But that's not a bad thing. If he is that way, if he can't be the good guy, be the bad guy. I always said, if you could create the good guy and the bad guy, you create a great rivalry. And so someone's got to be the bad guy. Pete Weber did a great job for years of being the bad guy, being the guy that, everybody loved to hate. You either loved him or you hated him. I love the guy because he had an attitude just like I did, man. I was an asshole on the lanes and sometimes off of him. A lot of times off of him. But the fact is that he created that brand and he embraced it. And so that's why when I look at guys like when Anthony Simonson got busted off of Team USA, okay, that could have gone in one of two directions. And I've always said he chose, probably from pressure, he probably got pressured to do this, but he chose to go in the path that has been very successful for him and go in the path of, continuing to win, being the nice guy. And Anthony's a great guy. Hey, Glenn. But, if he had said, I'm going to be the bad guy moving forward, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to be like, yeah, I did it. So what? Kick me off. I don't care. I'm the youngest major winner ever. You guys can all suck it. Something like that. Suddenly, he's got a whole group of people who no longer are his fans, but he's got a whole new group of people that are. He's got people who watch him because they hate him. They watch him because they love him. But either way, they watch him. And when you put someone like that up against a great guy like Belmo, now you've got hi Jason, how are you? Now you've got a combination of people who's got good and bad, and you've got people competing. It is so similar to WWE style that it's ridiculous. And that's why they're wildly, wildly successful. They're a billion-dollar company simply because they know how to get people's emotions involved in it. But I am going to say, I don't care what they say. I don't care what the PBA says. They stole my idea. I had this idea, and I emailed it to Tom Clark, and I'm not going to give his email out, but it's at AOL something.com. I literally emailed this format to Tom Clark and also to Bob Warner back on January 9th of 2018. So, I appreciate the fact that it's being used, but a little bit of credit where credit's due is all I'm saying. You thieving bastards. Jesus, that was my great idea, and you took it, and like I said, I think it is a good idea. I think it'll be wildly successful, and I wish you guys the best of luck because I do think it will work, but you've got to build some very, very good backgrounds, profiles, characters. Build these characters up, and you'll have one hell of a TV show. Now, moving on to my next little ordeal here. I want to move on to pro shop news and pro shop happenings and whatnot, both for the consumer and for the pro shop operator. Okay, so for the pro shop operator, I'd like to go into what you believe is a fair price and what you believe is not a fair price for labor and product. So labor and product, a lot of times product nowadays, it's becoming more and more profitable to do labor than it is to sell new bowling balls. Unless you're in a market where you're getting top dollar for, retail bowling equipment, a lot of times labor's perfectly fine. And so I want to kind of get into what's too much to charge for a ball being plugged, what's too much to charge for this and that. And then also, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of consumers who will comment over the next couple days that say this is too high, what I say is too high. I'm sure there'll be plenty of consumer or pro shop operators that say I'm too high or too low or whatever. That's great. You guys go ahead and comment all you want and set your prices and I'll set mine. That's why this is America, and I can, the consumer will ultimately be the decision maker. So basically, moving forward, when it comes to labor, I like to look at it as it's not necessarily a bad thing if someone buys a ball online. It used to be they buy a ball online. How dare you bring that into my pro shop and have that drilled? How dare you? That's awful. But quite frankly, I don't know what you guys charge for your labor to drill a ball, but me personally, my time is valuable. I value my time, and I don't look at it as just me drilling a ball. I look at it as I know how to do something that you don't know how to do. If you know how to drill a ball, then you can drill it yourself and it won't cost you anything. But you need me to do something for you, and if you need me to do it, I know how to do it. I have a skill. That means that I have a skill that I possess that you need. Therefore, I can charge you whatever I want for it. And if you want to go somewhere else, then that's your right. But at the same time, you're going to pay them as well. As long as I hold a skill that you don't, well, quite frankly, that just means to me that I can charge whatever I want, unless you want to pull out your hand drill, your Makita or whatever you got and put 3 holes in it. So when it comes to drilling a blank ball, I charge $60. Now, some of you may say that's very high. Well, in your market it might be. Everybody's got to base it on their market. I charge $60. Hold on, not only do we have skills, we have invested a lot of... That's exactly right, Glenn. You are definitely correct on that. So I charge $60 because my market allows me to charge $60. I'm in a good market. But Glenn is absolutely right. Those drill presses are very expensive. The training is very expensive. If anybody had any idea how much it costs to sharpen drill bits, you would lose your mind how much drill bits can cost. It's almost better just to buy a new drill bit. But you're right. There's a lot of time, money, and effort put into learning new techniques, taking new classes, maintaining your equipment. There's a lot that goes into that. And oftentimes for us, when we put a ball on the wall, I include drilling in that price. So I don't just take a ball and go, okay, here's the price, let me add $60 to it, because if I did that, I'd never sell any bowling balls. So if you buy it online, sometimes I make more, punching holes in it if you bring it in than I would if I were to sell it off the wall. Now, that's not always the case. It varies ball to ball. But, I charge $60. Now, when it comes to finger grips and thumb slugs, some say I'm too high. Some may say I'm too low. I charge $10 for grips, and that's getting ready to go up to 12. And I charge $15 for thumb, and that's just for a regular slug. So now a sleeve, same thing. But basically, if you came in and said, I want a ball drilled with grips and a slug, it's going to cost you $85 total. You know, slugs, grips, drilling, that's where that's where your money's made. That's what allows you to keep in business. That's what allows you to stay open, keep the doors open. Plugging bowling balls. I will never understand it. So many people come in and they bring in used bowling balls, okay? And I'll see someone go, well, you can just change the grips out, and you can change the grips out, plug the thumb, and just move it to just for the span. Well, all that's going to get you is a new set of grips and probably a thumb plug. So if you say you charge $20 to plug a thumb, and you charge $10 for grips, you made $30. But if you really wanted to make that ball not only better for the consumer, but also more profitable for you, you just simply look at them and you say, hey, everybody's axis point is different. This is not drilled for your axis. We plug the whole thing, we start over, and now suddenly you got a full plug with new grips. And if you charge, say, full plugs $40, $45 plus grips, you've now made $40 to $55. Just like that. So you've now made more money as a pro shop operator, but the consumer's also benefiting as well, because now the consumer has a ball that has an axis placement that is for them. That drilling is for them, okay? It's not just, oh, well, let's do it the cheapest way possible. You've now made a ball work for them, and you've made a good margin at the same time. Nothing of what I'm saying is just to be greedy from the perspective of the pro shop. It is simply to be both beneficial for the pro shop, but also beneficial for the consumer, because the consumer is also coming out ahead here because they're getting a better product for their money. So, you know, flat out, one way or another, when you have a service done, you need to charge for that service and charge accordingly. I mean, let's think about it. When you plug a bowling ball, if I really broke down plugging a bowling ball and the time it takes, if I do a full plug on your bowling ball, okay, and then I resurface it because I now have to smooth everything out, I cut it down, I resurface it, I do all that, and then I re-drill it. Okay, so if I really broke that down and said, okay, well, the plug, okay, and everything, all of that is $40, $45. Okay, well, I could argue that the plug itself is $40. The resurfacing is $25. The time that it takes me to drill a blank ball is $60. So essentially, you could argue that it's, you know, when you say, hey, 45, 25, 60, now you're at $130 really if you broke it down from start to finish. But you never get that, obviously. But what we're basically including when we plug a bowling ball is the drilling for free. I mean, we're not going to just plug the ball and hand it back to them. We're including the drilling for free. And we're including the resurfacing basically for free as well. So when someone is getting a ball plugged, it's very important that we value and put value in our labor into what we do. And that's why I always push pro shops to do everything they can to value their time. So many pro shops undervalue their time. Your time is valuable. And if somebody else could do it, and the only thing that prevents, I hear from a lot of pro shops, is the garage guy down the road. Well, you know, piss on that guy. You know what? If that guy's got a resurfacer in his garage, well, then more power to them. I always tell people, and maybe it's an arrogance, maybe it's a jerk thing to do, but if you think that that they can do a better job or it's cheaper, then go. It's the same thing with this podcast. If you don't like it, go. Because the fact is more times than not, they're not gonna go, one, but more times than not, if they do, they'll be back. Because I've spent a lot of time training. I've spent a lot of time learning. I've spent a lot of time studying. I've spent and those garage guys, a lot of those guys down the road, they don't know shit. Let's be honest. A lot of those guys don't know shit. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. And so therefore, we have to value our time. And if we keep undercutting each other as pro shop operators, we're all going to lose. You realize that, right? We're all going to lose if we keep undercutting each other. Because if I say I'm going to do it for 20 and you say you're going to do it for 15, what do you expect me to do? Say I'm going to do it for 10? I'm not going to do that, because why would I? I value my time more than that. If that's what you want, if you want to do twice the work for the same amount of pay, well, then go for it. Because I just don't see that as a business I would even want to be in. I'd rather not be in that business than do 2-3 times the work just to go back to breaking even from just because some dickhead in his garage decided he wanted to do this or that. It's not worth it. But the last thing I want to touch on is, I'm starting to look at accessories a lot, and one of the things that really I can't wrap my head around this is, you guys remember when there used to be you remember when there used to be black tape? It was slick, and white tape, it was gritty. They came in 3/4 inch, they came in 1 inch, and they even came in 1/2 inch. They had a little bit of pink. Sometimes there was a pink tape here or a gray tape there. Someone would try something different. But guys, come on. Oh my God. I'm looking at a picture of just what's in one of the shops that I'm at. And my God, people. Oh my goodness. I am just at a loss of the tape. Everyone's got tape. God, there's enough tape here. Jesus criminy. And it's because there's got to be different colors. There's got to be pink master tape. There's got to be black ebonite tape. You got black ebonite 1 inch, ultra grip black ebonite 3/4 inch. You got Brunswick Pro Source 1/2 inch. 3/4 white ultra grip. You got 1 inch white bowling tape. You got your Hada patch, your Bioskin. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like 8 or 9 turbo grip strip tapes here. Now then you got your K-Motion tapes, your Excel tapes, your Motive tapes. For Christ's sake, people. I mean, what are we trying to... Are we going to tape a whole damn bowling ball together? There is enough tape here that you could take the tape and just cover the whole lane with tape. From line to pit. People, I get that everybody's got to have their own version and own brand of something, but Jesus Christ. It's just tape. And you know what? I could get the exact same tape, and I know exactly where it comes from, and it's all the same, guys. Almost all of it's the same. With the exception of very few, it's almost all the same, okay? So, next time you're thinking, well, I want to get this brand or that brand, guys, it's almost all the same. It's made by almost all the same company. I can tell you that right now. And it's cut by the same people. and it's just put in a different package. That's it. That's for the majority of them. That's it. And so it's getting to be a little bit of manufacturer overkill here, guys. We're getting to be a little bit of manufacturer overkill. It's just like powders and stuff. A lot of it comes from forest. And, I just think that we're starting to get a little bit of overkill, okay? We really don't have to keep releasing more and more and more of this stuff. And I feel like a lot of people think that I'm crazy or come off, as this guy who's just ranting and raving. And the fact is that, one, the PBA's idea was mine. Remember that. Two, I have literally invested my entire life into the pro shop, bowling centers, and now the manufacturing side as well. And I'm trying to help you guys. I'm trying to help you pro shops. So even if I'm ranting and raving on here, what I'm trying to tell you is that there are ways that you guys can succeed and ways to become better and more profitable. You just got to listen, guys. Just listen. That's it. But, like I said, I am offering the private label cleaner because, like I said, promote your brand. There may be 1 million cleaners out there, but there's only one of your pro shop, and therefore there can only be one of your brand. So promote your brand of cleaner. Contact me at Ryan, RYAN, at Hallmark Shoes, HOLLMARKSHOES.com. Get your Hallmark shoes, your blackouts, get your multicolor. We got red and silver. We got all kinds of Hallmark shoes. You can find out more at hallmarkshoes.com, HOLLMARK shoes, SHOES.com. But if you need some cleaner and you want to get your brand, let me know. I've got pricing that nobody else can touch. It'll be like $3, $4, $5, just depending on what you're getting. And, like I said, you can pick out your own bottles and just get a hold of me. It's Ryan, RYAN, at Hallmark, HOLLMARK, shoes, SHOES.com. And I will hopefully get a show going on Friday at 5 o'clock. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but I'm going to try my best. But like I said, you pro shops can win. You can be more profitable in the services you offer. The more money you make, guys, the more you can invest in your business. The more you invest in your business, the more your customers will benefit, and therefore, the better experience everyone has. So it's a trickle-down effect for everybody. So, like I said, if you succeed, your customers will be happier anyway. So it was great getting to talk to you. I appreciate you coming in and watching me for the last half hour, and make sure to share this because we're really starting to catch on and starting to get more and more followers and more people. So appreciate it. Thanks, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Thanks. Bye.